All right, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all honor, praise, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Rakhakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the elect scattered abroad. All right, this is the brother Barbazal here with a lesson, and Lord willing, it's edifying. All right, and the title of this lesson will be AI will be used for deception and to persecute the prophets. All right. And, just meditating on this lesson. I'm watching, different videos that brothers is putting out there, going into AI and, different things like that. And going into, Esau's, left-handed wisdom, right? Left-handed miracles is deception, it's witchcraft. All right. And, one of the main ways he's doing that right now is, of course, through his AI, right? Through his technology. All right. And, what we're seeing is, these different videos that is being made by AI. It used to just be, this is obviously fake, obviously AI, this, that, and the third. But, as time progresses and technology advances, we're seeing, AI videos that you're questioning that, all right, is this real or not? All right. And of course, you're going to have, certain people who is always going to question it. Right. But then you have those, just bots, zombies, those people that, believe anything that they see on the internet and believe it, or really anything that Esau puts out. Right. Anything that Esau puts as reality in his news, things of that nature. And people just believe it, without, doing their own research, all right, or anything like that. These people just, believe whatever Esau puts out there. All right, that's why whenever Revelation 13 and 16 come to pass, so many people is going to take it, with that deception, claiming that, it's more convenient, it's all these things that you could do with the CHIP, making purchasing more convenient, showing your information, identifying yourself, all these different type of left-handed miracles. But when you go into the scriptures, all right, you understand the judgment that comes behind taking the mark, all right, which is the RFID, CHIP, or the chip. All right, so this is Ezekiel 28 and 3. It says, "Behold, thou art wiser than Daniel. There is no secret that they can hide from thee." Yeah, going into, Esau's left-handed wisdom again. He has, these different satellites, cameras on every block, all right, able to track you, on your phone, all right, and all these different things. And, soon, he's going to be looking to merge man with machine. All right, putting an implantable device inside of you in order to have full control over you. All right, in order for Esau, to be like unto the Most High, being your power, being your God, somebody that you worship, right? Verse 4: "With thy wisdom and thine understanding, thou hast gotten thee riches, and hast gotten gold and silver into thy treasures. But thy great wisdom and by thy traffic hast thou increased thy riches, and thy heart is lifted up because of thy riches." Yeah, all right. And that's how this man has gotten to the position he's in today. All right. And, just going back into the AI, all right, what Esau's going to eventually do is use it as a way to, incriminate the prophets, demonize the prophets, pretty much frame brothers into, making it look like, they're doing some sort of wickedness, doing something that, justifies, Esau into, putting them in prison or, whatever the case may be. All right, and we can get real quick Matthew 5 and 10. It says, "Blessed are they which are persecuted for righteousness' sake, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are ye when men shall revile you and persecute you and shall say all manner of evil against you falsely for my sake. Yeah, Khan. All right, and that's what's going to happen. And they're already doing a form of that, because I was watching the, the brother from Kansas City, the elder brother from Kansas City. And he was going into, people pretty much making AI videos of the apostles and elders, having them doing, kind of wicked acts or whatever the case may be. I haven't seen the video, these videos yet, but, it's not that far-fetched because we already know, that's what these, these people are going to try to do. It could be, wicked-ass Israelites. It could be Esau, or it could just be straight up just people that are just against the prophets. All right, which if you're not a part of the elect or the hopeful elect, you are against the prophets, and, when people are looking at these different videos of, AI, making brothers look bad or whatever the case may be, they're going to automatically believe it. All right, because, these people already are against the prophets, mock the prophets. All right. Hate the Lord, and as in turn, they're going to hate, his followers, which are the men of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. All right. Verse 12, it says, rejoice and be exceeding glad, for great is your reward in heaven. For so persecuted they the prophets which were before you. Yeah, kind. So, and, we've seen it time and time again, prophets, being put into jail, being put to death. All right. Well, the same thing is going to happen during the end times. All right. So, this is, nothing new under the sun, right? So this is going to, continue to happen. All right. Now, the only difference is, we're at the end. All right. And this kingdom is getting ready to fall. All right. And, we looking for, not just the destruction of Babylon, but, to Lord's will be saved, receive salvation from that destruction. All right. Being beamed up into those chariots. You see? And ultimately establishing, a righteous kingdom. All right. So this is the book of Sirach 12 and 10. It says, never trust thine enemy, for like as iron rusteth, so is his wickedness. And this is a scripture that we constantly bring out, because, we're wary of, Esau's deception, Esau's tactics. All right. Esau, speaking sweetly with his lips, but, looking to throw thee into a pit, right? Just roughly paraphrasing, that scripture. All right. So we know what this man does. All right. We know this man, he don't have, good intentions, no matter how, he makes it seem. All right. But even, us going into these precepts, Esau just being that master of deception. All right. He's going to just, continue. All right. He's going to continue to deceive the people. All right. And people is going to continue to, believe in this society, try to have a life in this society, not really view anything wrong with this place, and, as a prophet, right, as men of the Lord, those who believe in Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, all right, we're hastening in the day of the Lord's coming. Okay. So this is going to be the last precept. This is Matthew 24 and 24. It says, for there shall arise false Hamashiachim and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. Yeah. And if Esau could, he would. If Esau had a way of, deceiving the elect, he would do it. All right. But we understand, through faith and, having that, connection, that relationship with Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, the Lord is not going to allow that to happen to his elect. all right? However, you're going to have those who, know that they're Israelite, right? Know about the truth, things of that nature, but, they're not going to be, completely rooted, all right? They're going to have, ulterior motives of being in this thing, selling out, You have those that are agents. You have those that are just in it for filthy lucre's sake. Those that are just, completely, not in the right spirit. And, those are going to be, a part of the people that are, deceived. All right. And the taking the seed. All right. You got certain Israelites that, say that the seed is anything but, what it truly is the RFID Egypt. You got Israelites who claim that they don't know what the C-hip is, but if your heart is right, you're not gonna take it. Well, you gotta, if you call yourself a prophet, all right, you have to be able to identify the chip. All right, you have to be able to break these scriptures down and have the proper understanding of the scriptures. All right, the scriptures going to how these prophecies are not of private interpretation. Okay, so before the end comes, we have to understand what to look for. The signs. All right, what the MOTB is, what the image is. All right, the mark. All right, what the beast is. All right, you have to be able to identify those things in order to stay away from them. All right, because ultimately, really, how would you know not to take the mark, if you don't know what it is, you see? But, that'll do it with the lesson, and Lord willing, it was edifying. So with that, I'd like to give all the honor and praise and glory unto Yahweh B'Hashem Yahushai, B'Hashem Baruch HaKodash. Shalom.